Hi everybody, it's Jen from Scrap and Posh, and I am here with an artistic studio creation design team project today. And today we're making altered envelopes, and I'm going to be featuring the Stamperia rice papers. And then I got some stuff I pulled from my stash also. The envelopes themselves are just regular Hallmark envelopes that I ran through my printer and did some digital paper on them, but I have at least one here that this is just like a craft policy envelope. I thought it was kind of pretty. I like the policy envelopes that they open at the top, and I'm gonna try and collage that one too. And I'll also be using some napkins. I think I just have a variety here. And some trim, some doilies. And the other thing I'll be using is some ink. And my inks from Artistic Studio Creation are my Distress Oxide Walnut Stain, my Distress Oxide Vintage Photo, which is somewhere on my desk, and my Distress Ink Sponge Sugar. So, I'll gather all this up. Now, when I ran these envelopes through the printer, I had to tape them down. So, you can see where they got taped down. And I'm just going to take my Distress Stain and go right over that. This one is kind of darker brown. And this mat that I'm using in the background is actually a Kevlar oven mat because I never purchased the the Ranger one. So I use that one. I'm making some sprays out too because, let me go grab a couple sprays. I have lots of them. Now, let's see here. Okay. Alright, so the thing about the sprays is you have to make sure that your sticky doesn't stick. So I'm going to take some washi tape, and just in case I can't get it off, I'm going to take some washi tape that matches the project. This is thick washi tape. I got this, I think I got this from AliExpress. So and you don't have to use this thick stuff. I just have this sitting here. So I'm going to cut this, and then you can always use the washi tape on the envelopes also. Okay, I have some Sponge Sugar Distress Stain. And it's going to pick up the brown that I already put on that. And then this one's going to be like a Shabby Chic. And then I have this is from Studio Calico. And it's just a mist spray, and it is a red. I want to test this on something before I commit. That's not so bad. Let's spray it over here. Good. And then just kind of bring it in. Just trying to add to that. Give it a little bit more color, and so that it doesn't look like I purposely just did like the corners there. I do like the washi tape there. Okay. And I have some gold gesso, but I have some ink. And I think Crystal has something similar. I have some Rogue glitter. This is called Deco Art Metallic Luster. It's in a rose gold. So I'm going to, this one's kind of hard. It's like an Inca gold. I wonder if I can reactivate this with some. Let's try this. Whoops, I missed. Yeah, I did it. Just add some shine to the envelope. Here we go. Okay, now this is obviously going to be the front of the envelope. I do just want to get some stuff on the back too, but it's the front that I'm mainly concerned about. If I didn't have all these envelopes, so I have a bunch of them, I would have probably just printed on paper and then made my own envelopes. So that's an option too. Okay, so I'm going to get, this is the Stamperia Decoupage. I'm not sure what the name of this specific paper is, but it is DFSA 4158. And it's just got a collage of pink roses and flowers and butterflies. So, and one of these is going to go a really long way. So you don't necessarily need one per envelope. I just wanted to get a variety. I'm going to shut that. And I have my Mod Podge over here. Am I supposed to shake it? I don't know if you're supposed to shake it or not, but okay. So let's do, and with the rice paper, if you tear it, you get more of a natural like from one material to the other progression. So I can put this rose there and it goes all the way in the corner, or I can cut a partial of it. I can wrap it around. Let's go. I don't necessarily want my entire envelope covered in Mod Podge. I haven't decided that that's what I want, so I'm going to try and keep it pretty much on the rice paper. And maybe just a little on the sides. And this is, of course, gloss Mod Podge. It's the only thing that I had. So it is going to show up a little bit more than... But having different textures on your altered envelopes is another thing that you look for possibly. So having some rice paper with Mod Podge and then the rest of it be a different texture, you may be okay with that. I'm okay with that. So there's my image, and it's still wet, so we'll look at it again afterwards. And then I'm going to take these smaller pieces that I cut off. I'm going to tear the sides, and I'm going to put it like here on the flap of the envelope. And remember, we taped the sticky off, so you don't have to worry about that. And I'm putting that straight edge right up against the straight edge of the envelope. And when putting my Mod Podge on, I'm going with the grain of the paper. The rice paper is textured like kind of like a dryer sheet, so it's got fibers. You want to go with the grain of the fibers. Okay, so I have a very straight edge here, which I didn't intend on having, but I'm going to take some of this washi tape. I'm going to go along the bottom of the envelope, and then I'm going to take a torn piece on both sides and just go along there. And it kind of blends that in, and it's just a different texture. Then let's add some lace. I have some pink lace, and to put this on, it's a bit bunched, and I really don't want that. I'm going to, I said pink, it's not pink, it's white with pink hearts. So let's cut the bunching. So that it lays flat on there. And to put this on, I'm just going to put a bead of Fabri-Tac along the top of the envelope. And I'm just going to let the rest of that sit. I don't necessarily want to glue that part down. And then finally, I have some of this bling I got from Hobby Lobby a million years ago. And I think once it dries, I can put a part of this on there, like maybe that one. Okay, so while I'm waiting for that one to completely dry, set aside along with its embellishments. And let's get this one. This one's a neat design. I am going to again cover the sticky, the glue from the envelope. And we can just wrap it around. Let's see, why not? I like this. Washi tape is somewhat transparent too. So I just try and not have a really straight edge anywhere. Oops. And just kind of piece that together. Okay, now on this one, let's do a doily, which I had. Which I've lost. Okay, we'll do a doily on the next one because I don't know where that one. Oh, there it is. Okay. So this is just an off-white doily, and I got this in a swap. And I'm going to put this on first because my hopes is to cover up some of that where the tape was. So let's go ahead and stick it on first. And I'll just use my tape. And we'll save the rest for later. And just cut it off flush with that edge, and we can add some glue to it. Or we can add some tape. We can do all sorts of things. Let's go ahead and Mod Podge some of this on. And then I'm just going to stick a piece of tape here. Alright, so now I got a doily on there. Let's use how about let's do a big piece, and I'm going to go ahead and leave the straight edge on this one because I'm going to cut it straight across, or I'm going to use it straight across here, and then we can use a trim or something like that to separate the top half and the bottom half. Let's go ahead and wrap it around. Okay, that looks good. And then, okay, fast forward to next day, and these have completely dried. And I like that the finish isn't completely like all Mod Podge. So let's just add a couple more things. And I have some more to do, so I don't want to if I was only doing one, then I'd be like overdoing it. But since I have several to do, I'm ready to stop where I am on this one. The other one, we have some parts that need to be dyed, that need to be colored in, I guess. So I'm just going to put this bling on here, and I'm lining it up with the bottom, and it's going to tuck under the lace here a little bit, and that's okay. I think that adds a nice touch to it, like a finishing touch. And then I have, I think that's going to be okay. Okay, so there's like our first envelope. I think I have this other washi tape here. I think I will use a small piece, a couple small pieces here. And that has no sticky on it. And I'm just kind of adding just a little bit to the back because it's pretty plain. And maybe breaking up some of this rough or very straight where the print, the envelope top overlap the print. And this washi tape is also from AliExpress, I believe. Crystal doesn't have washi tape in her store, but she has so many other things. Any kind of mixed media stuff, you want to grab it there. Alright, so that one's done. I have a bit of a some stuff came off my mat. Alright, so that one's done. Let's go on to this one that we already started. And this definitely has some spots that we have to cover up. And I'm going to use my washi. And on this one, I'm going to do one straight. And then cut it off. And when you're doing, when you're printing on these, you can always open it back up and print on this side. Just be aware that you're going to overprint on this. So maybe a simple pattern. I got another piece of my mat came off on this, so I need to cover it up with something. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put that on there. You can see once this dries, the rice paper is transparent. You can see that pattern underneath it. I think that's neat. I'm going to give this a spritz here with some red and then let it dry again, because I'm going to put something, bling or lace on it. There's some red that I just kind of dabbed around. And then maybe some of this gold gesso, which I've never used before. I don't think. Just kind of dab it on there. You don't want a hard line. And then, let's see here. Oh, I gotta get this covered. Let's see if this will cover it. Yep, that covered it okay. So, it's pretty simple. I have some gold paint left on my hand. Okay, we're going to set that one off to the side to dry. And we'll start on a whole new one here. I have this one, which has a really neat pattern on it. And let's get some pink paint. So I have this pink mousse acrylic paint, which essentially is like pink acrylic paint with like sand texture in it. I'm going to add that. I'm going to add that to the white spots, the spots that were covered by tape when I printed. And then I have some white acrylic paint. And Crystal sells a variety of paints also. I just have some in my stash from sales. I am going to just dab some on here. And then when that dries, I can put some sprays on it. If you have a sponge, you can use a sponge. I don't have one handy, but I have a roll of toilet paper here. So let's sponge on here a little bit. I don't want everything with my fingerprints on it. There. Alright, so there's another one we got going here. Let's set that one aside to dry. And let's try a napkin. Let's use this big blank one that I didn't print on to do a Halloween one. So I'm going to take this skull napkin, and this I got on clearance after Halloween last year at Walmart, I think. It was like normally 97 cents, so I probably paid half of that. And you take off the double layer. And again, I'm going to go for ripping instead of cutting, just to make it have like a more natural fade from one to another. Okay. Now, this one's probably big enough that I should get a brush out. Let me zoom you out a little bit. Okay, so we have that started. And if you're using a brush or your fingers, it doesn't matter. You just got to be really conscious that the napkin can rip easily when it's wet with Mod Podge or whatever else you're using. Okay. It doesn't look like much now, but let it dry. And then I want to, may have to wait to do the back. And this is like just a decoupage. You can do this with napkins, tissue paper, rice paper. They all react just a tiny bit different, but for the most part, the application is the same. Sometimes the napkins are a bit more finicky. It depends on like how thick your napkin is. Alright, so that's another one we're going to sit here off to the side and let dry. I think that one's going to turn out pretty neat. Okay, so now that my envelopes have dried, where did my, here he is. I think that looks good. I got some white paint and it's like eyeball, but that's okay. Let's add some stuff here. I have I think this one's going to get this butterfly with this, you can't see it. It has one of these faceted like gems in it, so we're going to use that. And I think in order to put that one on, let's use some glossy accents. Now glossy accents takes a while to dry, so I'm going to put a liberal amount on here. And as always, I don't know what I did, but at one point in time I got this sucker clogged. And it just hasn't been right since. So, glossy accents is good for holding on metal embellishments to paper. Maybe not quite as good as E6000, but E6000, I don't have any open, and my suggestion for E6000, if you buy it, and maybe it's just me because you can see what kind of luck I have with adhesive, but I suggest buying the tiny tubes because I just ended up tossing an entire tube of it. So glossy accents or E6000, hot glue will work to a point. It will come off. This was actually stuck on something else, a swap that I got, but I don't know what it came off of because it wasn't stuck on anymore, so it had been hot glued. So I'm just going to use these biggest stones here, and I'm going to cut one extra than what I think I need, just in case I'm off. And we have this harsh line here from where I put that rice paper on. I'm just going to cover up that harsh line. And I do have one extra, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. There's no need to tuck it under. Okay, here. And then, because do I have enough? I may have enough to do that other side. I was just going to go one size down, but I think I have enough if I use the... And you can put extra adhesive on this if you want. I think these will... I made sure it was really dry before I did this. These are pretty sticky, and these are from... These are from Paper Studio, but Crystal has a plethora of gems. I have these. I've had these forever. I want to get rid of them. I have this cute little washi tape advertisement up here, and now we're pretty blinged up, but I want a different texture. So maybe a lace, or what else could we put on there? Maybe a stickle or some glitter. I have some stickles here. Let's walk over. Here's some lace that I have readily available. It was probably got it at Joann Fabrics. It's 3 yards. And I highly suggest that if you're going to glue lace or fabric on, to use Fabri-Tac. So just to add a different texture to this, I think I'll put it right over the doily. And this has kind of a bonus to it because there's lines on the envelope. So we can use the lines to line up our lace. And then I'll trim that, or I can burn it off afterwards. I think one more thing. How about adding a little sentiment to it? I have these Heidi Grace quotes, and it's about hugs. It says a hug is like a boomerang or something. A hug is like a boomerang, you get it back right away. And I'm just going to, it's clear, I'm going to put it right here in this open spot, I think. I don't think that there's too much competing with it. I think that'll be fine. Okay, so there's 2 envelopes done. Set them aside to dry completely, especially with the butterfly embellishment. Let's grab this guy here, and I wanted to use some of this red, let's use some of this Spun Sugar Distress Stain on the white acrylic paint that I put on there. It just gives it, I think, a nice, just a spattering of it. Okay, let's go ahead and, should we put the butterfly on it? I haven't put the butterfly on anything yet, obviously. I really don't want to get this all over my hands again. Oh, I have a sponge brush here. Okay. There we go. If anybody's going, can you do that without getting it all over you? Yes. Yes, you can. This is how. Mod Podge underneath, Mod Podge on top. Go with the grain of the rice paper. There we go. And let's do, I have some stickers here. And since this one has a butterfly on it, I thought maybe, oh, there's some cute Halloween stickers for the one with the skull on it. How about, it is an envelope, so how about we use this typewriter. Now, if you're, depending on where you're going to put it, you may not want to put it on now. If you're going to put it on a wet spot, don't put it on. But how about this little typewriter that says heart you in the letter? I think that's appropriate, and it's pink, so I like that. And then I have this little heart too. We'll put him on there. So you can definitely, you know, add some things that maybe you didn't think about. I have some like translucent vellum stickers. Those would be neat, but they really don't go. And I don't want to stick things on there just to stick it on there, so. But just to give it a different texture. Here's some Stickos butterfly stickers, and they have pink up in the upper left hand corner, so we can use those. And these are a different texture too. They're like a, they have sticky on them, like, not sticky, but they're shiny and they come with a protective cover so that they don't, I don't know, come off, I guess. Like nothing sticks to them, because they're kind of poofy, but not really like poofy stickers. And just looking to see if maybe I can find, I have these Martha Stewart or K & Company butterflies, but I don't have enough butterflies on there. So, I don't know, maybe I'm good with that. Let's go ahead and set that one aside to dry. We have to do at least something to the back of it. And let's get our skeleton one out. And that will be the last one that I do on camera here. I'll have a few more on the end. So I like this effect here. The tearing of the skull. I almost think I want to do like a drip. So do I want to do a red drip? Probably. Let's do a black, I think. If I have a black. Took a really long time to find. So I have some Dilutions Black, and Crystal carries these in her shop. And I'm going to put this plastic behind there. This is the plastic for the rice paper. I don't want to spray everything. And I am going to let that run right down over my skeleton. So I do like that. I'm going to do the opposite side too, and then I'm going to let it dry. And even cover up that spot on the back where I didn't have the napkin. So that's pretty neat. Okay, now all this has to dry before I can really do anything else with it. Okay, this one's dry now. So lastly, I have some skeleton washi tape. And this is old stuff, so I don't know when I got it, but it's never been used. So I'm doing the inside of the flap. And then I have this doily, which oops. This is a doodlebug doily. They have all colors. And I'm going to go over the flap on that. And then I have this black like lace. And I feel like I can just glue that on the entire back. And that'll dry clear, so. Oh, I have more than one doily. I was like, why is that popping up? Okay. And then I feel like I need something here. I have a box full of items from swaps that had a lot of Halloween stuff in it. I'm going to find it and put a gem there so you'll see it in the close-ups. But other than that, this one is Jen.